Heidi and Frank show. Roy Wood Jr. from Sullivan and Son plays Roy on the show. Like Owen Benjamin, he's on the show on last Friday. He plays Owen on the show. Steve Byrne is like that's based around him. I think he came up with the idea for Sullivan and Son. He plays Steve on the show.
And Ahmed?
I don't know if Ahmed plays Ahmed.
Wait, Ahmed, I think he does.
We'll have to find out. Get Roy in here.
We'll ask Roy.
I
can't remember.
Roy Wood Jr., bring him on in here. I think we've talked to him on the phone before.
Oh, there he is.
How you doing, sir?
Look at you all fancy in your
That's
blazer.
I do.
Hey,
Look
Roy.
at that.
Jacket from a discount store that I won't name and a Batman shirt.
It works.
Because I'm an adult who still thinks he's young. Ahmed does play Ahmed. Let's go ahead and
Okay, so
there you go.
everybody still uses their first name.
Yeah. And we're going to be on the show. We're going to shoot something for Sullivan and Son tomorrow, and I think we play Heidi and Frank. Yeah.
Well, that's how ballers do it.
That's how we do.
I mean, you look back at all the professional comics that have had shows, most of them always have
Yeah,
their
Jerry
first name.
Seinfeld.
Raymond.
Jerry.
Yeah, that's how they do it. I mean, other than Cosby, maybe. He was probably the only one, but it was called The Cosby Show. So
Right. But yet it was Heathcliff Huxtable.
Yeah. Martin Lawrence, Kevin James, like they've all pretty much all had their first names. I think that's easier anyway.
Well, yeah, and then you don't have to remember a new name. You're like, oh, I can remember.
And then,
Roy.
this is your first thing as far as acting goes, right?
Yeah,
Sullivan and Son?
absolutely.
Now that you've done it and got a taste of the acting, are you going to pursue movies?
I don't know.
No.
You know what? I
Stick
like television. I like comedy. I like comedic acting. But I'm not. If you're asking me if I'm going to transition into Jamie Foxx and be Ray, and be blind on set for 18 hours, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to act. I just want to do enough so people come see me tell half-drunken jokes in a nightclub. That's all I need.
That's like this show.
The Sullivan and Son comedy tour.
Set the bar low for myself.
I think I saw it at Flappers when you guys were out there in Burbank, and it's a hilarious show because all the guys on Sullivan and Son, they all are stand-up comedians, and so what a better idea than to get all together and do a comedy tour. And you're going to be at the Hollywood Improv on July 3rd, hollywood.improv.com for tickets. Now, we talked to you on the phone last time. You didn't come in. I think we talked to you on the phone. Mm-hmm. And when I was looking at your bio, says that you were, produced and wrote for a morning show.
Oh yeah,
and says now you're doing it now. You're doing the show, a morning show of your own.
Yeah, well, no, I'm not in mornings anymore. I do an afternoon thing with the station in Atlanta. I got fired. Ironically, I got fired from that morning show because I got cast on Sullivan and Son.
That wasn't the Ricky Smiley show, right?
No,
you were on Ricky Smiley.
No, I used to write for Ricky Smiley's show years ago. Ricky is like Birmingham legend. Like, that dude was in radio before me, and when I came back home to Birmingham after college in 2001, Ricky had gone on to do his show in another market, and I kind of came in behind him, and he was kind of the guy that gave me the game on how to do prank calls and how to do radio the right way. And so I stayed at that station until 2011, 2012, when we booked Sullivan and Son, and they went, we don't think you're going to be available for us anymore. And I got fired. Like, I didn't even get fired the regular way where like the boss calls you in respectably and listen, we appreciate the last decade you've given us. I found out on Twitter.
That's radio, Roy. That is radio.
I woke up to like 40 unread text messages and like 90 tweet notifications. I'm like, what's going on? And everybody on Twitter is like, we'll always love you. Goodbye, Roy.
Did I die? Am I dead? What is happening?
Is this how death starts?
That's great.
At least you still get a cell phone in heaven. This is cool.
And now, I mean, you're in your third season now with Sullivan and Son, so it's successful. So looking back, you're like, ha ha.
Yeah,
you fired me and we're successful.
Yeah, there's something good about it. I mean, I had some good years in Birmingham, but it's all about growth as a comedian. You can't stay in the same place, man. You got to keep trying to ascend. And, hats off to Steve Byrne and Vince Vaughn and everybody on the production side of the show that was kind enough to give a fat kid from Alabama a chance.
How did they find you? Is it just Steve knew you from, seeing your stand-up?
Yeah.
Like, how did they find you in Alabama?
Well, I think I was the only one out of the group that wasn't really friends with Steve before the show started. We just had mutual professional respect for one another. So,
But you didn't have an agent out there pitching you for this show?
No. I mean, I have an agent, but where this show is concerned, Steve Byrne is the one that got me the audition. But I still had to audition. I still had to do the dance and prove myself. So it's definitely something that I feel like I earned because I saw the looks in the room after the first audition.
Oh, no.
People were not impressed.
Yeah,
I'm like, listen, you got to give me another shot at this.
All right, take us back to the first audition.
I just got fired on Twitter. There's no going back.
Audition for us. Give us that first audition, how bad it was.
1 to 10, I'd say it was about a 3-ish.
Did you know it? as you were doing it, you
oh,
saw
hell
it,
yeah. It's like a date. You know when
Right.
you're not getting a second date. You know before the appetizer gets to the table.
Yeah.
Did you say I'm sorry after it?
No,
I'm
I
sorry.
just left. I acted like I killed it.
Yeah.
Buttoned my jacket back up. Thank you, guys. And it was good to meet you.
Maybe that's what you
I'm
need
sure
to do.
we'll talk soon. I'm sure we'll talk soon.
Wow, I don't know. He convinced me that he
There's
did
like
well.
5 people in the room. This is a good audition.
And they put their hand like, go ahead, entertain me.
Oh, they're not even looking at you. You're giving me way too much attention right now.
Oh,
for you
my
to
God.
be disinterested, like they don't even look at you. There's 5 people in the room, only 2 make eye contact, only 1 speaks to you. That's when you know you're screwed. It's just like, all right, see you later. Thanks, Roy.
Thanks,
It's like,
Roy.
Thanks, Roy. The worst audition I ever screwed, though, I did an audition for, I think it was Wipeout on ABC. It was one of those shows where you need a comedian to crack jokes at video or whatever. And I thought I nailed it. I thought I did a really good job because in a good audition, they come from around the table to shake your hand. They come around, oh, thank you, that was amazing. And, when are you available again? And then when they start asking you, when did you come back in? We want to see you again. And I left the room, realized I left my car keys on the desk. I go back in the room to get my car keys, and I noticed that the producer is wearing a Boston Celtics shirt. And I go, oh, I'm going to bond with this guy over sports. And at the time, Celtics not playing good basketball at the time. It's like 06, 07. I go, hey, man, Celtics not doing so good, huh? And he just look of fury. He goes, where are you from? I go, I'm from Alabama. How's Birmingham's NBA team doing?
Oh, no, Roy.
We don't have a team. Exactly. Thanks, Roy. I was like, oh, no. No, I killed myself.
Are you watching the World Cup at all? It's like that seems to be everyone jumping on the
I
bandwagon.
love soccer, but I always have. Like I can show you pictures of myself at MLS games, which is like American soccer is basically like AA baseball of the national. If you look at compared to soccer overseas, like there's not enough players coming over here to make it what it is in England. Or maybe one day, but you know, what I love about soccer is all these fake soccer fans who act like they're upset. And, I can't believe we lost. Name 2 players, man.
I can't.
Yeah,
exactly. You can't.
Ronaldo.
I don't even think
and,
America should
Pele.
Exactly. One of those guys is retired, maybe dead. I don't know.
I think so, actually.
No, Pele's still alive.
All right.
No, he's still alive. I saw him on a commercial with Michael Phelps, where like they're on a Subway commercial together, and it's like talk about legends of swimming and legends of soccer, and it's like we haven't had somebody since Pele. It's like actually we still have to use him as our legend of soccer. Nobody
It's been
since
that
Pele.
long, right?
I think it's good for other countries. I don't think America should win the world. I don't even think we should be allowed to compete. I mean, this is for other countries, man. I mean,
They will hate us if we win it.
Super Bowl. We have enough other ways to get happiness.
It's their religion,
Some dude
too.
in Chuchagalakistan. This is it. That's all he's got. They blow it. And they're passionate because it's all about national pride, and there's a lot of political undertones in these games. You're playing countries you legitimately hate. This country tried to bomb you yesterday. You know what? Yes, I want you to score a goal against them. And I don't think Americans will ever understand that because every sport that we're adamant about, it's domestic. It's some team from Kentucky playing a team from Florida, and the winner plays a team from Nevada. We're all on the same team, dummy. Nevada wasn't bombing Kentucky yesterday. There's no emotion. There's no real emotion. And until you have that emotion, you'll never understand what soccer means to those people. How furious would you be if the Yankees lost to Al-Qaeda? It's the only way you'd understand. It's the only way you'd understand. You're just an American rooting for Americans against other Americans. That doesn't count.
Putting it into perspective for us.
Roy Wood
I'm just saying,
Jr.
if Al-Qaeda put up 10 home runs in the first inning and was taking slow home run trots around the bases, now you're emotionally invested because there's a political undertone to the game.
Oh yeah.
Because those guys tried to murder you.
Roy Wood Jr. plays Roy on Sullivan and Son. Sullivan and Son is currently in its 3rd season. Tuesdays on TBS at 10 p.m. And follow Roy on Twitter at Roy Wood Jr. And also the Sullivan and Son Comedy Tour. It's going to be July 3rd, Hollywood Improv, hollywood.improv.com for the tickets. It's a great show. I've like I said, I've seen it, and it's so funny. I like how you guys alternate, too. Like, say, you don't always, like, open up for the show. It's like, oh, where are you going tonight? Oh, you're the closer.
Yeah.
And you guys mix
How
it up a little
How
bit.
do you figure that out? Who's going to do that?
Anybody but Steve goes last. Steve goes last, and the rest of it is just sometimes it's literally based on, well, I got to the club before you, and they're ready to start the show. So I'm just going to go up because you're late.
Right.
And doing a tour like that with the same guys.
I mean me. Cause
do you have to... Do you have to like renew your? I mean, just for each other, your material because you're
not just for each other, for the audiences too.
Well, and you don't want to be
20
bored.
minutes. Yeah, I don't want to be on stage on autopilot. It's exciting to talk about new stuff and share new thoughts. And a lot of people want the same material. They may want one joke that you did from the previous year, but we're in the third year of this tour, so we're starting to get a lot of people that are coming that came the year before. And the year before that, and that's not fair to them.
Yeah.
And the new people, they get new stuff.
Right. It's not like a musician but you do have that joke that people love to hear. It's your hit, so they're like scream, it's your free bird, and you're like,
the white wedding joke.
And you're like, oh,
yeah,
so,
you get that one, and then I'm gonna bore you with these 3 new singles that I have.
No, do the Yankees Al Qaeda. That's a killer. Do that one if you haven't. That is
every artist does. Here's 4 new poems I wrote. We don't want to hear that garbage.
Yeah. Let me slow it down for you to show off my new album.
That's
we don't want new album.
That's what Bon Jovi did. I went to the Staples Center. It's like you want to hear, Living on a Prayer and all Bon Jovi stuff.
Not his new stuff.
And it was like all the new stuff. It was like, this sucks.
Right.
Yeah, you got to change it up, man. Life happens as well. You want to share those thoughts. I had a girlfriend. I got kicked out of a Ruby Tuesdays. Things happen. Pass this on to people.
Roy, thank you so much for coming in. We'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, God. Yeah, we're going to see Roy
Sullivan
tomorrow.
and Son. So be sure and check it out Tuesdays on TBS at 10 p.m. And get your tickets, hollywood.improv.com for July 3rd. It's well worth it. Thank you so much, Roy, for coming in.
Thank you, guys.
We'll be right back. We're Heidi and Frank.
That was just a little sample of the Heidi and Frank show on 95.5 KLOS. Now, to get the show in its entirety, on demand, and if you want to watch the show, we webcast it every day, all you have to do is go to HeidiandFrank.com and become a premium package member. Do it right now.